Hello, everyone. I'm just going to give everyone, 20 or 30 seconds to get in and settle in and get your coffees and in your chairs and things like that. And then I'll start some introductions and we'll get going. Okay, so with every one of our sessions and webinars and meetings and events and things like that, we always like to start with a land acknowledgement. So I'm going to start with that today first, and then I'm going to get right into not being too present in the meeting and going straight to Kim Ann because there's lots to cover today. So hello, my name is Linda Griffin. Once again, I'm the Education Programs Coordinator with Business Link, and thank you for taking the time today to jump aboard and carry on with session number 3 with Business Link and SASS Marketing. First, I'm going to hit the button that I need to hit here. First, we want to acknowledge that the province of Alberta is situated on the traditional territories of Treaties 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10, the homelands of the Métis, including the 8 Métis settlements and the 6 Métis regions and Inuit. We recognize, honor, and respect the Indigenous peoples of Canada, their beliefs and histories, and are grateful for the historic and current stewardship of the land that we share with them and call home. So today, we're going to jump right into session 3, and I know Kim Ann loves the involvement in the chat, so we made sure today chat was enabled before you popped in. You're ready to go with chat, so please take the time to put the emojis in and say hello and do all that kind of fun stuff while we hand it over to Kim to do the next session called Creating Your 2023 Marketing Plan. Good timing, Kim Ann. We're fast approaching the close of 2022, so it's time to get rolling with this stuff. For those of you who need to know, we will be recording this and the recording will be available to you to view as well. So no PowerPoints come out, but the recording is available. So take it away, Kim.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, welcome everyone. Once again, happy Wednesday. Hope you all are having a great start to your week so far. As Linda said, today's session is on creating your 2023 marketing plan. However, your marketing plan doesn't have to be for 2023. You could create your marketing plan for next month. You can create it for the next 3 months, and you can create it for next year. So it's really up to you how often, how frequent you create your marketing plan. It doesn't have to be yearly. It could be monthly, can even be weekly, right? So just take the kind of like the timeline with a grain of salt. You can apply this now and create a marketing plan for October. You can create a marketing plan for November, December, and so on and so forth, right? So yeah, but the focus today is on, high level highlight kind of creating it for the year. That being said, yes, please do make your comments and so on and so forth in the chat. I try my best to answer the questions as they come in. So feel free to pop in with your questions and stuff like that. And yeah, we can go that way. Hi, Gabby. Hi everyone. All right. So we're going to get started here. All right, so in today's session, what we're going to do, you'll learn the key components to building your actionable marketing plan. I know a marketing plan can sound like a daunting task in the sense of not knowing where to start, what to include, and how to even measure the effectiveness of this particular plan, right? So that's the focus today. You're going to focus on your marketing plan, strictly marketing plan for your business, and you're going to learn the key components of what to include in that plan, okay? But before we start, I want to address this right here. Did you know that you have a 538% greater chance of being successful in your efforts if you document your plans? And I think I mentioned this in a previous session with you, but if you write it down, if you plan it out, your 538% more chance of being successful than if you keep it in your head. And I saw a great analogy of this played out on social media the other day, where your ideas, your plan, what you want to achieve, how you want to market your business, the ideas come, right? They come. You don't write it down. It's as if I'm holding my hand like this and pouring water. Just pouring a jug of water with my hand like this. Obviously, everything's just going to go out. Everything is just going to go out. Versus if I got a glass and pour the water, everything stays, right? And I think that's a great analogy of what it looks like when you don't document your plans, when you don't document your ideas and the strategies that you want to implement for your business. It doesn't stay. And then when you are ready to do something, you don't remember anything. You don't remember that great idea or that great strategy because you didn't write it down. So making note of your intentions, of your plans, of your strategies, you're way ahead of the pack already, right? There's a 538% greater chance of you being successful versus just trying to keep it all in your brain on top of everything else that you have going on in your life, right? So just want to leave that there. So that being said, again, make sure you write it down, but before you move forward in creating any plan, the first thing you want to do is first do an audit. Okay, do an audit. So I want to move this here because for this session, there are resources that you can have to help you do all of this. But in order for you to get it, like if you scan that QR code, you can choose which resource you wanna receive at the end of this or tomorrow or anything like that. But anyways, that's what the QR code is for. Another great, what do you call these things? Quote that I wanna share here is doing business without a marketing plan is like driving without a map, okay? You may get to your destination eventually, but you risk making time-consuming and costly errors along the way, all right? So you'll get there eventually, but the amount of mistakes and money you'll spend and waste if you had documented it first and foremost, if you had that GPS, right? If you had that map of where you're wanting to go, and that's what your marketing plan is. So take stock of what you've done previously. So if you're creating a plan for 2023, you want to look at 2022, 2021. If you're making a plan for next month, you want to look at this month and last month before you create something for October or November, right? Take stock of what you've done in the past. What strategies worked, right? What didn't work? Okay. What strategies created engagement for your business? It connected you with the right people, right? You got interest from your ideal client and customers, like what worked, what didn't work, assess those information, assess those activities, and then obviously review your analytics, your insights, see what, what the trends are saying in regards to what you were doing in the previous term, whatever timeline you want to use to, to create your next plan for. So review the previous time. And that will help you in creating your marketing plan for the future, right? What opportunities did you miss? Okay, so looking back into 2022, 2021, or last month or last week, what opportunities did you miss? And why did you miss those opportunities? Was it a lack of resources? Was it, time management? All of these factors, what opportunities did you miss, right? And make every effort to not miss such an opportunity if it should arise again, all right? And then gather feedback from your past customers, your clients, your business partners, your accountability buddy. Gather feedback from them in regards to what you're currently doing. And we do have a feedback script that you can use. And I think I mentioned this previously, but it's basically a series of questions that you would go through and ask your customer or, your business partner, your accountability buddy. And this will help you in assessing what needs to change or what you need to do more of in the next season, whether it's monthly, weekly, or yearly you're creating your plan for, right? So if you scan the QR code, you can say which resource you want to receive, and we'll send it to you in an email so you can take it away and do all of that. All right. The QR code worked for me. Okay, good. What types of things should you audit if you're just starting out? So here you go. This is what we're talking about. This is what this slide is. Let me just quickly go through here. All right, yeah, so what things you audit. So if you're just starting out, if you're just starting out and you don't have any customers or clients, you can speak with potential customers and clients and ask for feedback. You can speak to some of your family members who are around, who knows what you're doing and all that stuff, and get feedback from them, right? You can even take stock of a different business in the space that you're in, right? You can, check them out, see what they're doing, see what's working, see what's not working. If you're a brand new business and you have none of this data for yourself, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, see who's doing what you're wanting to do and, kind of do your assessment that way, right? Okay. So the next thing is to set your goals. So we haven't even created the plan yet. You see how much work we have to do, right? So setting your goals and your objectives, okay? Be clear on what it is you want to achieve at the end of 2023, the end of 2022, the end of October, the end of next week. What is it that you want to achieve? What is your goal, right? And I'm working with a business on the north side right now, and I spent 4 hours with them on Monday doing this exact thing because they don't know how to articulate what it is they want to achieve by October 2023. They don't know. It's so hard, but you really need to sit down and look at, December 31st, 2023. What is it that you want to say? Yes, I was able to accomplish this, 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 and this, and then that is your goal. Right? If at the end of December 2023, you want to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe we now have 5 staff. I can't believe we hit 1 million. I can't believe, we're booked in these 3 different provinces. Those are your goals to be, to have, showcase in 3 provinces by the end of 2023, to have $1 million in revenue generated by end of 2023, to, grow your staff by 5 by end of 2023, right? So look at the end and work backwards, all right? And then visualize the year. There's so many different things you can do to accomplish that goal, but if it's not written down, you have no way of getting there, okay? So visualize the year, visualize the week, the month, whatever it is you're trying to create that plan for, visualize it, all right? And then Seth Godin says this amazing quote, don't find customers for your products, okay? Find products for your customers, meaning you should know your customers so well that you're able to offer the solution to whatever problem they have, rather than you having the product and not knowing the customer. So now you're trying to go around and, okay, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? How about you over there? Because you don't know your audience, right? So you need to do it the opposite way around. Get to know your customers so well, okay? So what do you want to achieve? Make sure it's defined. So put a number to it, whether it's the amount of sales you want to achieve, like I explained earlier, how many new followers, new connections you want to make, new inquiries you received as a consultant, or whatever that looks like. So put defined, make sure it's defined, all right? And then what problem do you solve? Be clear on what you offer and why you're the best fit for that particular solution, all right? I'm gonna jump back in and see what's going on. Okay, all right. Moving on. And then the next thing is to check what your competition is doing, kind of get plugged in, see what's happening within the industry, see what the trends are, see what's working well, what's doing well before you go ahead and create a plan for next month. If you're not up to date with what's happening, you're going to fall flat on your face, right? You're not going to get the result that you're looking for if you're not in line with what's happening within your industry. So do a little bit of digging. Check out to see what your competition is doing, what whether that's within your geographical space, or taking it further provincially, nationwide, or even worldwide, right? Seeing what's happening, and then how can you differentiate your service, your offering, and your story from what you've seen, right? You're using what you see as inspiration. You're not using it as a template, right? You're just using it as inspiration for how you can showcase what it is you have to offer, all right? So some of the things you're going to look to do is checking their audience responses, seeing how engaged they are, right? Seeing how well they're touching on pain points related to their target audience, right? And then this will give you insight into what you need to do for your business as well and how you can show up in that space, okay? All right, now we're getting into the actual marketing plan stuff. Isn't it fun? Drop a thumbs up for me. You're liking the amount of work that it takes to be effective, to be efficient, to build a successful business, to have a good marketing strategy so that you can see the result that you actually want at the end of it, that you're not going to be wasting your time. You're not going to be twiddling your thumb, right? You are actually ready to go and implement some strategies. So I see Melissa is the only one who thinks this is good. Okay, Melissa, it's me and you for the rest of the session today, okay? All right, so your marketing plan, here are the key components that you need to have in your marketing plan, right? Providing you've done all the stuff we just spoke about, okay? Providing you've done that first. Now, we can look at the different components of your marketing plan, and you can break it up in 5 different sections, right? 5 different sections. Okay, Hiransh, it's great. Okay, I like that. So you've got your audience, the solution, the message, the action, and then the metrics. Okay, so this is what's going to make up your marketing plan. The audience is, you're going to define who you're serving. Okay, for the solution, you're going to outline the solution to the problem. What solution you have, that's what you're going to outline. The message, what you're going to do here is you're going to outline how you're going to connect with your audience, okay? And then the action is basically what steps you're going to take to reach your audience, okay? And then metrics, of course, is how you're going to track your progress towards the goals you've outlined, all right? So this is the key information, the key components, the key tools that you need to build your marketing plan to help you on with your delivery. Let's go through these bit by bit. It's a lot of fun, I promise you, it really is. Okay, so for your audience, defining who you serve, if you were here last session, you would have gotten some, I guess, you know, we did this for the customer, identifying your ideal customers and targeting them, stuff like that. That session was based on that. So you should have that information, okay? So that's what you would plug in to this piece of your marketing plan, is your audience. You've defined who you serve, and that's what you're gonna plug in here. So if you didn't attend that session, here's a quick refresher. So for your audience, you're going to look at who versus why. Okay, what that means, you're going to break down the motivators to better understand your customers. The who is based on the demographic. Okay, so the typical basic information of, you know, who they are, the gender, if they identify, you know, their profession, you know, maybe their salary, you know, their family status, that kind of thing, just surface level information. And then the why is really what motivates them to make any purchase. So that's their attitudes, their values, their personality, what they believe in, stuff like that, right? That's the why behind why they make any purchase or do business with any particular brand. And that's what you're going to break down within this audience component of your marketing plan. So to do that, you'll ask these questions when creating your buyer persona, when you're building out the profile of who your ideal customer is, right? What is your ideal customer's name? Give them a name, personify who you're targeting, so it's easier for you to visualize this particular person. It's easy for you to visualize, you know, their personality, you know, their character, their values, you know, who they follow, who their influences are, what cause they support, right? So give them a name. What's their age? You know, where does, you know, for us, it's Sally. Where does Sally work, right? What is Sally's job title? What does Sally care about? What's important to her, Okay, what are her values? Is she even on social media? That's very, very, very important when you're building out your marketing plan. Is she on social media? If she is, what platforms, right? What TV shows does she watch? What books does she enjoy reading? What kind of music she listen to? Who are the influencers that she follow or, look up to, right? And what organization, what causes, she support, and then how would she interact with information? That one is really, really very important. How would Sally interact and consume information? Is she a newsletter person, right? Would she rather an email? Would she rather a text message? This is really important for you to identify and define for your business so that you can effectively reach your audience, okay?
We have a question here that I think is a good one in the chat. What if your demographic is fairly broad? Do you need to do this for every possible persona? How could you streamline this to touch on multiple personas?
I think we addressed this in the last session, right? I think so, in terms of having multiple audiences, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
So Stephanie, if you want to go to the recording number 2, we actually, Kim Ann really talked about this in that session. So I'll just go check the website and make sure that recording is still up for everyone to see.
Yeah. All right. So the second component is the solution, right? And remember, that is how you're going to outline the solution to the problem, right? What is it you have to offer? And these are the questions you would kind of ask yourself around creating and building out this plan within the marketing plan, right? So what problem do you solve? Why should people care? And if you did the lean model canvas activity, I think from the first session, you would have this particular information already outlined and defined. So what problem do you solve? Why should people care? That part is super important. Why are you uniquely positioned to solve this particular problem? Okay, so this all talks around your why. Okay, where can customers find alternatives? That's important too, right? If they don't choose your business, how else would they get their problem solved? Okay, that's what that's referring to. And also another alternative is that they could do nothing. That's also an option, doing nothing. What is your product or service that you're providing as the solution? Outline that, okay? How do you stand out from the competition, okay? And why should customers have confidence in your services or products above others? Okay, so here you need to know your differentiating feature. So there's a difference between a benefit and a feature, all right? And that's very important to understand. So the feature of the product is the result. The benefit is the result. The feature is all the ingredients, all the resources, everything that's added in it, the input. Whereas the benefit is the result of using your service or your product. So you want to focus on those, all right? So knowing your differentiating features and benefits, I should put it there, is also something that you need to highlight in your solution that you're offering to the problem, okay? So we're gonna pause for some truth. And I love this. I love this. I love this. People don't buy what you're selling, okay? And we need to understand that just because, oh my gosh, I have an amazing product, everyone's gonna love it. It solves the problem of X, Y, and Z, and it's cheaper than anything else. People don't care about that. They buy the story behind the actual thing. The story, they buy the story, okay? So your brand is the stories that people tell about you or your brand, your product, or your service. So that's something you really need to focus on, is the story behind what it is you're actually trying to sell, hence the why. The why is super important. If you check from the last slide, majority of what's here talks around the why. Why should people care? Why are you uniquely positioned, right? It's around the why. So that's you got to use that as emphasis. All right, and then using storytelling to resonate, that's in your messaging. How do you connect with your audience? By using storytelling. Don't we all love stories? Yes, we do, right? Everybody loves stories. Give me a thumbs up. If you don't like stories, you don't need to comment. If you like stories, give me an emoji of some indication that, yes, Kim, I'm with you. I do love a good story. Yes. Okay. Since childhood, look at that. I love them. All right. Look, the smiley face. Great. Yes, we all love stories. Why do you think your audience is any different? Pause for effect. Why do you think your audience is any different? They want a good story. They want a good story around you. They want a good story around your brand. They want a good story around your business. Okay. So you're going to use storytelling to resonate with your customers, your audience. Okay. And the ultimate goal of every story is for it to be memorable, right? We can all remember stories from our childhood, like someone just said, right? And resonating with your customers for days, if not years to come. That's something you want to achieve in all your marketing strategies. In everything you do, you want to be remembered. You want it to be memorable, right? Jacqueline, absolutely love a good story. Exactly. So how are you going to create this? How are you going to do this particular thing? This particular slide could be broken out into an hours-long workshop, no joke. But for purposes of time and the overall arching of creating a marketing plan, we're just going to focus on these little snippets here. So storytelling, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your customers get to know you, or your audience get to know you, like you, trust you. So the person that made a comment earlier about, being a completely brand new startup with no customers, no nothing, this is where you start establishing this know, like, and trust factor with your audience, right? So that they can get to see who you are. Nobody does business with people they don't know. I'm not wrong, right? Nobody does business with people they don't know, they don't like, and they certainly don't trust. I'm not doing business with someone I don't trust. I'm not doing business with someone I don't like, and I'm certainly not doing business with someone I don't know. So you need to establish this for your business. And it doesn't mean you have to walk around with your video on while you're doing everything. That is not the case. It's about creating a strategy of how you let people in and get them to know, like, and trust you, right? So obviously, first thing is being human. We're all human, okay? We are all human. Digital storytelling. Oh, yes, I like that. That is true. That is definitely, storytelling is so vast and wide as a topic by itself, right? And there's so many different tools and strategies out there that you can go and explore for yourself and see which one is right for you in how you share your own story, right? But be human. If COVID taught us anything, if you've noticed out of COVID, how marketing has kind of shifted to being more personable, right? Around all brands, to be more personable, right? So be human, be honest about your why, be authentic, connect with your community and speak their language, right? So you don't need to throw jargons. You don't need to, use these big words and all these different things when someone's just being really raw about the problem that they're having. Like, just be real with them, speak their language so that they can see you understand where they're coming from, right? You're relatable. I like you, because you understand me. Okay, so that's how you're going to do that. And that by itself, again, like I said, is a whole strategy, but this is the basics of what you need to do in creating your marketing plan and creating your message and how you're going to connect with your specific audience. Okay. And then the action. Okay. What action are you going to take to reach your audience? How and where will you reach them? Okay. This is important. Once again, do you know where they are? Really and truly, do you know where they are? I'm asking, I want to see what you guys have to say in the chat. Do you know where your ideal customers are? And I don't mean like, oh yeah, they're on social media. No, do you know for a fact that your audience are on Twitter, or they're on TikTok, or they read magazines? Do you know? Someone says no. Thanks for your realness, Melissa. Mine are on Facebook. Are they only on Facebook? Diane says no, I don't know. Okay, Gabby says Facebook, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Okay, Katrina, I like that. Larissa, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Wow, that's a lot. Boomers. Okay. Okay. Anu Rada, you said it could be anywhere. You're not doing the homework. No, they're not anywhere. You're not doing the homework. How do you find out where they are? Okay. Amy, great question. Kendra says farmers market. I like that. But Kendra, farmers market, that gives you an insight into the lifestyle, right? But from farmers market attendees, there's other branch off, you know, where they may attend. Like example, for farmers market, they may subscribe to newsletters, right? To keep track of where farmers markets are, to keep track of, you know, the local community, right? There may be Facebook groups that they're part of, right? So you really need to do your homework in that. You can Google the age group and what social media they use. There are statistics. Katrina, exactly. That's one way to do that. That's one way to do that for sure. Another way is by defining your customers yourself, right? Once you create that avatar, that profile, get in your head, in your customer's head, you will then be able to identify where your customers may be. Another one too is, say for instance, you've created your avatar, you've created your profile of your audience, of your ideal target customer. And when you're doing this, think of one person. Someone mentioned having multiple target audiences. That may be true, but you will have one that dominates the others, right? Example, I may be in the business of building websites. It doesn't mean I can't do landing pages, right? But my business is website. My target is websites, right? But yes, I can do landing pages, but how much of my revenue that's generated comes from websites versus landing pages? Probably 90% comes from website, right? So then I want to focus my targeting towards the website building customers, right? I'm not really going to do much marketing for landing pages because it's like literally minuscule in terms of the bottom line. Okay, so that's another way for you to define who you should actually target, is who's bringing in the bacon, basically, right? So that's one way regarding the multiple persona thing. Like focus on one at a time. One at a time. Once you've got the foundation for one, you're seeing results, your systems are working around how you do that, then you can say, okay, let's shift and kind of see how we can build this out for the other target audience. Do one first. So here, that's what we're doing here, right? Where you find them. Facebook is a really good, cheap way to do that. You have your profile, you've identified who your ideal customer is. Chances are you probably have someone like that already on your Facebook, right? Go snooping in their About Us. You'll see the kind of music they like, the books they read, who they follow, basically the influencers, who their causes, what causes they support, what books they read, how often they eat out, which restaurants they go. You get all of that info, right? Once you get that, you can you can see where they will be, or where where they're at, like where their social media versus newspaper, newsletter, word of mouth, whatever. So what action do you want them to take once you've reached them? So you contact them. What is it you want them to do? You can't just say, hey, how you doing? This is what we do, and then stop there. Right? You have to tell them what you want them to do. It's in marketing, it's advertising. They tell you what they want you to do before you even think you need it, right? What are the strategies you'll implement online and offline? Okay, don't be what do you call it? I know, COVID is still rampant in the sense of marketing and most things being digital and online, but there are offline components to your marketing strategy that you need to marry with your online strategy. All right. Events are things that are open again, networking events, and I'll do a little plug for that in a second here. Partnerships. Right? It doesn't have to be like full-on business partnership, but informal partnerships with complementary businesses, collaborations with other businesses within the same industry or space that you're in, right? These are really great offline marketing strategies that you can implement. Print media, like a lot of the cafe, they have this coffee time newspaper or whatever, something like that, and it's free, right? There's tons of free print media that you can have access to. You just need to do your research, do your due diligence. And there's also online directories that you can have your business listed in, all right? You just need to do your research and do your due diligence, right? So there are some options, ideas for online strategies you can implement, or where you can market, and offline where you can market as well. Just a few. It's not, obviously there's tons more.
I just, sorry to jump in, Kim, because I always do that, and then I say
That's
sorry,
okay.
and then I regret it later. But just so that the audience understands as well, because some people have not attended the first two,
Right.
or maybe this is whatever. Understanding this comes understanding what channels to use. So we call this marketing channels. What are the channels you're going to use to get to your audience? Channels are great. There's thousands of different channels you can use to do that. But the key component of this work was to go back and understand who those people were and where they access their information on a day-to-day basis. So back in the old days, we used to have the yellow pages. I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember the yellow pages. But back in the old days with yellow pages, I can remember when I worked with a small agency here in Calgary with my company, and they said to me, they said, well, take a look inside the yellow pages and see what your customers are doing, or what your competitors are doing there. And they said, now, how are you going to stand out from your competitors from there? So we did a lot of work with that particular channel, but don't discount the offline channels. I can tell you, after 30 years in business, my most successful results, and we have lots of online stuff that happens in my company. We have a lot of online stuff that goes on, but the actual hit the sales button and people paying for the work has often, probably 80% of the time, come from all the work we've done in our offline channels. Specifically in a business-to-business environment where you're developing relationships and you're developing networking and you have a very long sales cycle. We no longer, we had to look up pizza joints in the yellow pages. Yeah, that dates some of us when we looked up pizza places and we looked up, everything in the yellow pages. But don't discount offline, and don't discount specifically, as you know your target personas. Many of your target personas will be far more effectively reached with offline, and you're complementing that sales cycle reach with your online stuff. So just thought I'd jump in on that, because for many people, there's a real sort of sexiness to online. Everything's online, and it's always so sexy. And the nuts and bolts and the grit of it all often happens offline. So just to let people know, they don't have to have expensive Facebook ads necessarily to have a reach. There is tons of work you can do offline to get your business going, and don't discount networking events and old school direct mail with a call to action on your direct newsletter is just amazing as well. So, sorry to interrupt, Kim.
No, it's value add. It's value add. So no need to apologize. You are right on the money. That's why I said, I know, since COVID, people are now thinking, oh yeah, online, but it's not online only, right? You still need to do offline marketing, and it's very, very important and vital. So, don't negate that. So yeah, no. All right. Well, okay, the metrics, right? Yeah, so metrics in tracking your progress towards your goal. We have created an actual year-long marketing calendar and worksheet that you can utilize in creating your own plan. And again, it doesn't have to be, a year-long calendar that you create. You can use it for, your monthly planning if you want to be, that nitty-gritty or specific. Could be a week It could be 3 months. It could be, 6 months at a time. But we do have that marketing calendar created. So you can just check that off in the form, what you want to receive. Write the vision. We said it so many times before, right? And again, that quote is there. How much greater chance you have of success if you document your plan, like you can track it. And this is just a snippet of what the calendar looks like. On the left, you can, list all the different activities, marketing activities that you want to implement and schedule. And obviously you have the timeline in terms of when, like Q1, Q2, Q3, whatever, what it is you're going to do, where does it span, so that you can physically see how your plan is going to come together. Like in your head, you may be planning 4 or 5 things to do in 1 month. When you put it on here, you realize it's impossible. There's no way you're gonna do all these things in that 1 month, when all of these things require all your resources, right? Each and every single one of them. So it helps you to literally plot what you want to do, plan accordingly, so you can see how far ahead you need to start marketing. You need to start gathering resources towards achieving this particular task or event or whatever it is that you want to achieve. So that is super, super, super important. And again, the QR code for that is there. All right, so to recap, these are the 5 key components you need to build your marketing plan. It's your audience, defining who you serve, right? The solution, outlining the solution you have for the problem. Your message is outlining how you're going to connect with your audience. We spoke about storytelling, okay? Your action, what action you're going to take to reach your audience, and then the metrics, how you're going to track the progress towards your specific goals, okay? And in speaking about networking, SASS have our next marketing mixer is next Friday. It's next Friday at 6 p.m. Our next mixer, it's called Sips and Sweets. We do have our signature cocktail that we share at our mixers. And this one is around social media marketing. And we do have a featured local baker in the community that's going to be sharing some mini cheesecake cups thingies. That's just divine. This mixer is free to attend. It's in our office space on the west side there. So if you are interested in attending and networking and kind of starting that process that we just spoke about in terms of building your network and getting your name out there with your offline marketing, walk with your business cards, walk with your flyers, walk with that kind of thing and come out and network. So that's going to be happening next Friday. Like I said, it's for a couple of hours. It's free to attend. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can certainly let me know. And I guess I'm here for the next 15 minutes for any questions.
Okay, folks, this is your big time to head on over to the Q&A. You'll see the Q&A at the bottom of the screen, and I will verbalize your questions so that they get answered live in person. So the first one is from Katrina. Does Kim have any other courses that she teaches? I imagine so, Kim.
Yes, we do. We do. If you sign up for the resources or whatever, we'll have your email and we'll keep you posted as to when we're going to be having those. For the rest of the year, we only have 2 events. The mixer is one, and in November we're having our business vision board session. That's going to be fun. That's in November. I can't remember the exact date, but if we have your email, we'll let you know. January, we're having a masterclass series around getting your business out there. So those are what we have coming up right off the top of my head.
Nice. Let's see what else we have. I know that some people had some issues with the QR code, so we have inserted the QR code link into the chat. So I don't know, Jessica, if you're able to get to that and just insert that link that comes up into the chat for everyone, because that's where you can go and download all these goodies from today's session. Betty has a question. What percentage of sales should be set aside for marketing? Ooh la la, loaded question, right?
I know.
There's so many different industries and so many different ratios. Tell us more, Kim Ann, about this one.
That is very, very, a very good question. I think they say the average is 5%. 5% of your revenue, your like on a consistent basis is good. Obviously, you can increase that, right? But minimum 5%, you should be dedicating to your marketing efforts, minimum. But again, it depends on what your business is, what your intake is, but it should be minimum 5%.
And it seems ads and other marketing tools can be expensive. When you are just in the startup phase and working on a limited marketing budget, what are some of the best ways to utilize your budget, in your opinion?
Well,
in my opinion.
Well, it's funny because that's why that's how we started. To be honest, we rebranded our name, but our name is supporting all savvy startups. And the purpose on the word savvy is the fact that, you're being resourceful, right? In the little that you have. So utilizing all the free tools that you can is key in any startup. And most businesses out there, in terms of their offering, the software, the tools, the processes and stuff like that, they do have that free version that you can utilize until you're able to like purchase the pro version or whatever. So that's what I would say. Look for all the free stuff first, right? Start building there. Start where you are. Use what you can. And then you can, as you grow, you can grow as well. So start where you can and use what you have. That's my advice.
Nice. Another piece of advice is, lots of free offline stuff, going to trade shows, networking events, industry association events, opening your mouth, asking questions, introducing yourself, becoming members of chambers of commerce and things like that, and building a team of mentors around you who could say, this is how we did it on a shoestring budget. Don't discount the group of people you're surrounding yourself with who are either in your industry or experienced entrepreneurs. So hopefully you're building that team of people around you who are sort of your informal and entrepreneurial advisors, and hashing ideas back and forth about it. We have one from Justin. Do you have any other perspectives as why social media presence is important? So beyond awareness and increased participation, what's your take on social media presence in general, Kim?
Well, at the end of the day, it's part of how you'll build that online presence, right? So yes, there's different ways you can build your online presence. However, social media is one of the top ways you can do that, right? So outside of what you just stated, like the following and that kind of stuff, why is it important? Is to establish that online presence. Why? When someone hears your brand and they've got a recommendation from someone, the first thing they're going to do is pick up their phone and search you naturally, right? Whether that's on Google or whatever social media platform that they use, they're going to try and find you to see what what your story is, what's your values, what your brand story is, what products it is you have, what services you offer. They're going to go find information. They may not go to your website directly or right away. They kind of want to see across your profiles or across your online profiles, how you show up, how you represent. At the end of the day, they want to get to know you. They want to see if they like you, and they want to develop that trust with you. So that's why it's important. You need to build an online presence, and having a social profile helps you to establish that presence, as well as, a website. And, so you're on Google and stuff like that. But that's the importance of having or being on social, especially the platforms your customers or potential customers use.
Awesome. And a note on that, we call that the marketing funnel, right? Or in the case of duct tape marketing, he calls it the marketing hourglass. So if you want to learn more about customer journeys and how you're using all of these tactics. So we talk a lot about, oh, here's a tool here, and here's a tactic there, and here's a thing you can do, and here's another thing you can do. But none of them work until you build the strategy piece first, because otherwise you're just putting spaghetti on the wall. So I have inserted a link into the chat box for everyone. It is to duct tape marketing. Lots of stuff that Kim Ann is talking about today is contained in that very easy to read book. And if you are a business owner, I'm hoping you're building a library that contains books on HR, books on marketing, books on financials, books and books and books and books on stuff, because there's so much to learn. You're learning all sorts of different languages as a business owner. You're learning HR, you're learning marketing, and another day you might be learning financial languages. But build your library and think about everything you're doing from a strategy perspective. That's what makes this session so valuable, Kim Ann, is that we're talking less about tactics and more about strategy, right? It's all the strategy.
Right. Yeah.
We have one here called when you are just in the startup phase and working on a limited marketing budget. Okay, we answered that. Rita, is there a marketing approach for affiliate marketing businesses? Go for that one. Let's see.
Affiliate marketing, if there's a marketing strategy, it all depends, because I know a lot of these different brands already have their guidelines on how they want you to market their products, right? So I don't know, honestly, I don't really know how to answer that one. And again, it also depends on what you're marketing. Like, is it an actual product? Is it a service? Like, all of that, you'll have to take that into account. And then obviously who the customers you're trying to reach for those things. Right. So yes, there's definitely marketing strategies around that. And I would consider those three things: A, who the brand is and what their guidelines is around how you promote their thing, product or service. B, who the customers you're trying to reach with that. So those are things I would consider before creating a strategy around it.
Awesome. Thanks. Next question. Should the marketing plan be separate or within the business plan? Oh, I can answer that one.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kim?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's bigger in and of itself. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. It all has to work together. So think of your business plan as the final built Lego tower that you built, and that each of these sections of your business, so HR, financial, marketing, are plans within a plan, and they all have to work together. So it's like little bricks in a plan. So this is a mini brick plan within a larger plan for sure. You need to have the aligned vision and the aligned pricing strategies and the aligned people strategies and the aligned marketing strategies for it all to work together. What to do when you no longer have new customers? Is that the time to use paid marketing? Oh my goodness, that's the time to use any marketing you've got in your power and get that plan together.
Yeah, get out there, network physically.
and don't forget to go through your existing client list. If you've got them. One of the most inexpensive ways to gather new clients is to have a referral marketing strategy. Right. How do you encourage your existing clients to refer you and provide testimonials and to get the word out for you? They are your free sales force. Your happy clients are your free sales force. So what are you doing after you make the sale to them to nurture their ongoing happiness and help them and reward them for driving business to you? So there's lots of ways to do that. Yeah, that can be part of your marketing strategy as you start to build that out with the plan that Kim Ann has put with the QR code as well. So that's part of that strategy. If you are still learning about using modern social media, TikTok, etc., should you just create something? Even if you may not be great to write at first, or may not be as active or lots of content? Or is it better to wait until you put a lot of time into it and have lots of content? Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
that's a tactics over strategy.
Yeah. I think for that one, it's a yes and no. So there's this saying, done is better than perfect, right? So yes, you want to wait in a sense, making sure you have a plan. So have a strategy. You can't just post any random thing, because that doesn't make sense, right? So example, we say for instance, we do Scotch tape. I say it because I'm looking at it right here. We do Scotch tape, and I start posting photos of cats and squirrels. It's totally irrelevant to what we do. So no, in that regard, it would be no. Make sure you have a strategy. Make sure you've created your pillars, your categories of what you're going to post and how you're going to post those. We call them content pillars. Like around my brand, around my product, I want to educate people. I want to share a little bit about, my lifestyle. I want to do maybe did you knows and stuff like that. So based on what my category of post is, then I can go in and start creating content that speaks to each category, right? So once I have that, then yes, I can go ahead and post. No, you don't have to wait until you have a ton of content. No, it's just a matter of knowing what kind of content you're going to post. All right. Of course, your engagement, your following, all of that's going to be low, but don't let that discourage you. I reiterate, do not let the vanity metrics of social media discourage you from posting. What I mean by vanity metrics, your following, who's liking, who's sharing, all that stuff. Don't pay that any attention, because a lot of people who are on social media do not engage with content. Okay? They'll see it, they won't like it, they won't comment, they won't share it, they'll see it. All right. So keep posting. You need to be consistent with that. Don't let it discourage you. Keep doing what you need to do to have that exposure and awareness for your business. Okay.
Awesome. Next question. What is your advice for the business that has started that is making a few sales? Do you think lack of team member to help build the business or lack of marketing strategies? Oh, this is, do I have the strategy first or the people first or that sort of thing? Thoughts?
Yeah, it's like, the chicken or the egg situation, right? Definitely strategy, right? If you're making sales, that means you're doing good, right? So keep doing what you're doing. I would say create your own plan of when you'll reach your maximum quota, like when you'll be maxed out capacity wise. As an individual, if you're doing it by yourself, okay, I can take on maybe 2 more projects before, okay, I need someone else on board, right? So, measure what that looks like for you and your business before you think of, going out and getting someone else on your team. So that's what I would say. But obviously, yes, your strategy needs to be there. Your marketing plan needs to be there. Your business plan needs to outline, how you're gonna, the HR piece of it, right? What your team would look like and who you'd want to get onboarded first. So it's all about the planning part. And then, check in reality to see how much you can take on alone first before going out and starting to get somebody else on the team.
Some of this also goes back to the question we had earlier about, should my marketing plan be separate from my business plan?
Mm-hmm.
Your marketing plan should not be separate from your financial plan. Okay, and your pricing strategies. We do have a question in the chat about, I'm a solopreneur, and this is a lot of, like, marketing is a process that has to be a daily ongoing on and on and on kind of thing. It's time consuming. So the trade-off between paying somebody and doing it yourself is the amount of time it consumes. With social media, you have to spend a lot of time there, and it has to be consistent and it has to be ongoing. And if you're a solopreneur also doing the work in your business, it becomes a 16-hour day just doing it all. So some of the things you need to think about as you're building out your marketing plan is, what do I have to charge in order to offload this a little bit onto other people? And you do that using a break-even analysis and doing some of your financial management pieces. You'll soon begin to understand that you're probably pricing yourself just way too low to be able to maintain everything. And part of the marketing work is understanding you're creating that story and that brand about yourself and that unique value proposition so that people will begin to think differently about you. Instead of thinking of you as a commodity, they're going to think about you and your business and your products and services as a value add to their business or to their life, and they're willing to pay more for that. People really are willing to pay for value over commodity. So whether you're a generic aspirin, a name brand aspirin, or whatever in the market, it's a generic commodity. You may value the lower price, so you'll go for generic. You may value a brand name, so you'll go for the brand name. But that's commodity marketing. That's just a commodity. If you're a solopreneur or you're a small business, you're not marketing yourself as a commodity. You're marketing yourself based on these 3 sessions we've had so far. What's unique? What's your story? What's your brand? And you're doing that so that you can challenge the belief you have about what you need to charge as a price. You're charging more for what you do, and you need to be aware of that so that you can pay behind the scenes to operate your business with some structures in place. And that may include some contract help if you think you need that and you don't want to manage your own social media. But there's no point in contracting out the help if you don't understand what your strategy is. So that's what this work is about. It's taking you to that level of business owner with a strategy and with a language you can use, so that when you're making decisions about where to put your advertising, where to outsource your marketing, or whether to keep it in-house or what to do, you've got the language and the skill set to direct people to help you do those things you need to do, because you've laid out a plan for them and a strategy, and you have a language to use. And this work with Kim Ann is so valuable for that. So download those sheets, do the strategy work before you do the tactic work, because you'll find that you probably don't have to use a lot of tactics. You have to really build out that strategy first. Okay, what else? If you are looking to do some market research, check out the market research from Business Link. We are happy to do some of that. And it's free. We have a market research workshop upcoming next week. It's a 90-minute workshop. We had questions here about, should I do Facebook surveys? What are surveys? All of those things. Well, that's called primary market research, and we address that. We teach you ways to do some of the market research so that you can implement it into a marketing plan like this and understand your industry and your competition. So check out that coming up on the website. Kim Ann, we've included the link to all of your download sheets in the chat box. How can people reach out directly to you if they want to email you and they want to get a hold of you to get more information or more worksheets and things like that? How do they do that?
Yeah, for sure. They can check our website, or they can send us directly email to our email address, which I am dropping in the chat as we speak. So it's info@sassmarketingagency.com. That's our email. And then our website is sassmarketingagency.com. So they can check both places.
Now you do info sessions like this. What other things do you help people with? Do you have courses? Do you have agency work you do? Tell me about that.
So we are a full service marketing agency. We offer services under 4 pillars. So we offer services under branding. So that's, logo design, website development, your flyers, all that kind of stuff. We offer service under digital marketing and social media. So that's social media management, social media strategy, social media content curation, stuff like that. We do a lot of this workshop training, boot camps we do as well. So we do have workshops that we do like within the agency that's offered to the public to attend. And then we do a lot of the marketing plan, marketing strategy, stuff like that, and around that as well. So those are the services we offer.
Well, it has been a pleasure. You've really featured, the importance of strategy here, just how important that is before you spend the money on tactics. It's just wonderful information to have. Lots of great feedback. Thank you so much for all of these consecutive sessions. Yes, there's still an upcoming one. What's the date of the next one, Kim Ann?
It is the 28th.
It is the 28th.
Yes,
we've got a way to enroll for it. We will have the recording of this up for everyone in the next day or two, along with the other sessions. Kim's left her email address to reach out, the download papers to reach out. Lots of great materials and resources. I can't thank you enough, Kim Ann, for all the hard work and a wonderful engagement piece today. I really appreciate it. Thanks everyone for staying an extra 4 minutes, and we are going to sign off.